Hey guys, so I want to do a quick review of the 14-inch abrasive chop saw from SkillSaw. I've kind of been putting off buying one of these for a while, but I'm working on a project to build a ballast box for my tractor, and so I've been doing this yesterday. Basically, kind of a unique design. This is the base of the box, and I need to build a matching frame for the top, and then I've got other cuts, a bunch of other cuts actually for this thing. So I did all this with an angle grinder yesterday, and it's just a real pain and hard to get clean cut. So I decided to break down and buy a saw. I really wanted to get a regular cold cut saw, or a cold cut saw that uses regular carbide blade. But those things are pricey, and I couldn't really justify that for the amount that I'm probably going to use it. So anyway, I decided to go ahead and grab this today. I've also metal's my primary use, but I also have a retaining wall that I need to finish. And one of the things, it's called like 5 different walls, and they all kind of have a different curvature to them. And I need to cut the top caps for those retaining wall blocks. And I was going to rent something, but from what I've read, just throw a diamond blade on this thing, and it'll cut those top caps just fine too. So I'll actually get I'll get several uses of this thing. So I looked at, unless you go with the total cheapo Chinese brand, the SkillSaw is, I think it was $150. I got it today, and plus I got it at Menards, and Menards is doing their 11% rebate deal right now. So take that off, so I ended up paying whatever, $140 or something after tax. So. So it's relatively light. It's portable, but yet it's not so light that it feels chintzy or anything. The one complaint that I often hear about these cheaper saws. Oh, one moment, please. There we go. Is that they just have these stamped metal bases. And I hear complaints that when people clamp down on these with a piece of steel, there tends to be some, oh, there we go, quick release. That's a nice feature. So got a quick release jaw, so if you need to reset it, you can do it very quickly. But so one of the complaints that I hear is that because of the way this is made, if you're trying to cut some flat bar stock, like 1/8 inch, you can actually slip underneath here, and I can see that that's true. So potentially, if I run into problems, I could always, it has holes in it already, so you could very easily put another plate on here and just bolt it on. If you were worried about that gap on the bottom, I'm not sure if that'll be a problem. The other complaint that I hear is if you put something in there and you really crank down on it, you get a little bit of flex and distortion on this plate. But I'm not a professional fabricator, so for what I'm doing, I'm gonna guess that this thing's probably gonna work just fine. Okay, see, it's got like an automatic. It's got an automatic lock there. Pull this out, rotate it. I'm gonna go to transport it. Just flip that. Automatically locks, which is kind of nice. Got a depth stop, which I don't know. I suppose theoretically, if you start to wear down the cutting disc, you need more depth. It allows you to loosen this lock nut, turn this hex down, and you can get more depth with it. Probably says this in the instructions somewhere. Okay, here's your lock for loosening the blade, or the disc, whatever you want to call it. It does come with an included Allen wrench, which will take the blade off. It'll adjust this depth set, and then it also has a miter gauge on it here too, which I'm guessing most likely is probably not very accurate, but you never know. So anyway, you can adjust that too. So we'll see how accurate that ends up being. I'm also seeing now, I can't see this on camera, but where this back fence is set, there are 2 more holes here. So it looks like you could actually, I'm trying to think about what you're cutting. So that hits the center of the saw, but I guess if you're cutting something wider, and you didn't have enough capacity here, you could actually take this hex bolt out. It looks like you could actually shift it back to these farther back positions and get a wider cut. Which I guess if you have a full disc, that should work. So anyway, we'll just curious how loud it is. I'm guessing it's probably definitely earplugs loud when you're cutting, but I wonder when you're not cutting. I always wear earplugs anyway for about everything that I do. I've got ringing in my ears all the time from I think partly it's from shooting guns too much as a kid without ear protection, which was stupid. And then, you know, just working with power tools. I lay in bed at night and my ears ring, so I don't want it to get any worse as I get older, so I'm always careful about ear protection. But anyway. Yep, sounds like a saw. So let's cut something with it and see how it does. Alright, so I got a chunk of angle here, some of the stuff I've been working on. And so this is, like I said, actually, you know what, considering that I did all this with an angle grinder, I think those are pretty good cuts. I had to go to the bench grinder and kind of square some stuff up a little bit, but this would be a lot easier. Okay, so that's handy. And I'm not jumping over the top of the base there, so that's good. And when I really, I'm putting torque on that. I don't know, I guess I'm not really seeing any movement. I mean, this is kind of light duty stuff here, but I don't know, for my needs, I think this thing's plenty beefy. Let me grab some glasses and some gear protection real fast. Obviously it's a serious spark show, but tell you what, when I was going through that flood, this is 3/16 angle, and when I was going through just the 3/16 top section, man, it cut through that like butter. And then of course once you hit the flat section, so you're cutting this way, it takes a little more time, a little more pressure to cut there. But so I can see if you're cutting bar stock, flat bar in this thing, I think probably. Well, obviously for clamping purposes, it's gonna be better anyway. But when it's cutting down vertically through the bar, it just slices through it super easy. So anyway, when I think about all this messing around that I was doing last night with the angle grinder, compared to what that just did in about 5 seconds, it's definitely worth it. Definitely a good purchase. So I'm gonna keep working on this ballast box. I've got a bunch of cutting I'll be doing with this thing over the next, well, some today and whenever I actually get it done. So I'll try to do a follow-up video after. Or maybe I'll actually, tack it on to the end of this video, but we'll see how it does after I make a bunch more cuts and kind of see what my experience is. So anyway, that's the 14-inch SkillSaw bench top. So in case I end up doing this on a second video, go ahead and subscribe, and then you won't miss it when I come out with an update on how my experience has been after owning this thing for a while. So appreciate it, guys. Have a good day.